Hello and welcome to Monday Moves. So Monday Moves is a short mindset topic that I share every week inside of my private Tap Fitness Family community over on Facebook. If you would like to join that conversation live every week, all you have to do is just click the link in the description and you can do that. It's free. It's an incredible space. We have people dancing through life from all over the world and at all different phases of their journey. But Monday Moves is a point where we talk about mindset to help us move forward every week. I want to talk about fear as a habit. So fear becomes a habit pretty often. Where do you have that? Because we all have it somewhere. Where is fear kind of lingering for you? Some of the things that I wrote here on my notes are, it doesn't always shout. Sometimes fear looks like, maybe I can do that. Maybe, but I don't know if I'm ready. That's what fear can look like for a lot of people for a very, very long time. And then you're never ready. Think about parenting. Are you ever ready to have your first child? Are you ever ready to have your second child, your third, whatever? No, we're never ready. You just have to rip the Band-Aid off and kind of do the thing. Fear also can look like not wanting to start because you're afraid you're going to fail again. I have shared a story, a personal story about myself and business from when I was a business owner, when I was in my early 20s and I sold my studio and I felt like a failure. Even though I had already bought a business and sold it in my early 20s, I still felt like a failure because I sold my business for $0. Like it was more like this, like transactional, you sign, I want out, I want to go to New York, be a professional dance teacher or dancer, not have to worry about the bills of the studio, not have to do any of this stuff. I just want to be able to like go do that and not multitask because I tried to do both and it just wasn't working. And I remember feeling like a failure. Like if I was a good business owner, I would have had a bigger paycheck for all of the amount of work and the time and the business that I built with that. But I must not have been a good business owner because I didn't have any of that. I just basically did a walk away. And then I was afraid, guys, for a long time to start again, to actually be the boss, to be the owner of the business again, because I thought, well, I must have failed before. So I was afraid to fail again. And we all have this in some way. Maybe you've tried to go introduce yourself to this, this network of people and it didn't come across so warm and welcoming. And so you felt like you were, maybe outcasted. And so you were afraid to go introduce yourself to another group of people. And so just examples of how this could show up in your life. But I want you to lean in and feel like this is, find where it is for you. But that all stems out of a fear of disappointment. So again, fear is not always something that's loud and like, there's a tiger charging at me. It's quiet sometimes. Another one that I wrote down is, I don't trust myself to follow through. And I wanted to talk about this today because we are in the middle of our July Strong Challenge or Strong July Challenge, either way works. And it's so beautiful to watch. It's day 6 today. Tomorrow will be 1 week of 25 squats and total of 40 lunges every single day. And to watch people follow through and show up and take action every single day. I know all of you guys watching are doing it and you're being consistent, you're following through. But I have to ask you, is this something that you're like, gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this? Like, you're like, wow, I'm following through. Or is this common for you? Because it's not common for everybody to follow through. It's more common to not follow through. And so in that case, that leads us to a fear of self-betrayal. We betray ourselves. We lie to ourselves. We set ourselves up for disappointment. And we're afraid of that. We don't want to do it. So a lot of times we don't commit. We don't follow through on things. And we don't even say, we don't even sign up and take the chance because we're like, yeah, I know I will fail. And that, guys, the reason we talk about these topics too, is oftentimes the way we do one thing is the way we do a lot of things, if not all things to some degree. So one more note to think about here is a lot of people are afraid of the unknown. So like the what if it doesn't work out type scenarios, the I don't know if I'm going to be good at it type scenarios, the I could be wasting all of my time and my money scenarios, the fear of the unknown. You don't know until you try something. And as obvious as these are when I'm saying them out loud, check in with yourself right now and see, am I in one of those categories? Am I in the fear of the unknown? Am I in the fear of self-betrayal? Or am I in the fear of disappointment category? And do I have any of this in anywhere, like in my personal, in my business, in my relationships, in my, just in general? Like, here's one. I also love this one with kids. Kids are afraid to try new foods. Kids are afraid to try new foods. Why? Well, fear of the unknown, right? Also, fear of like they're like spice, like I'm afraid it's going to be spicy, right? It's all fear of the unknown. I'm afraid it's going to be yucky. It's all fear of the unknown. And so again, if you see that your children have one of these things, fear of self-betrayal, they don't want to sign up for something because they're afraid they might not like it, and then they might not want to finish it. If you see that in your children, pause for a second, or in your grandchildren or whoever's around you, people you take care of. Notice what you're noticing in other people that are in your close proximity, because a lot of times they could be mirroring something back to you that you are also doing. That's why I think that being a mom in this season of life when my children are still at home is one of the, that's not the only reason, it's just one of the reasons why it's such a blessing, because we get to see all of the things that they're doing. They inspire us. And then we also get to see some of the things that they're doing that maybe we're like, we need to work on that. Oh, I need to work on that too. I think it's so beautiful. I have a blog post that I'm going to share when I'm done going live. I'll share it in the link for anybody that's watching this on YouTube. I'll share it in the link in the description. And then whenever we're done, I'll put in the comments in our Facebook group as well. And I have in there 3 different little steps that you can go through to kind of maybe assess, if you will, about fear and kind of noticing about yourself, kind of take inventory, if you will. And then I just put notes here again on my thing here. It says, sometimes we don't avoid commitment because we're lazy. This is a word, lazy. That word can trigger a lot of people. Like, I'm not lazy. Okay, well, that word can feel very harsh and like you're attacking somebody. But a lot of times we're not avoiding commitment because we're lazy. A lot of times we're avoiding it because we've been hurt before. For example, if it's somebody else, like you're committing to a relationship, you're committing to hanging out with somebody, you're committing to a connection with somebody else, maybe you've been burned before, maybe your heart's been broken before, so you're afraid to commit again, right? But that's the same thing for yourself. You're afraid to commit to a healthy lifestyle because you've burned yourself before. You've that fear of self-betrayal. So if you're feeling, because sometimes I hear the language when I'm talking to people one-on-one, and I'm not going to call anybody out, but if you hear this message and you're like, I've used that before, I want you to hear it. If you are calling yourself terms like I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated, I don't know, I want to use bad words, but whatever you're saying about yourself hears you. Okay, let's not claim those titles anymore. Do not claim I am lazy. Do not claim I am stuck. Do not claim I have tried everything and nothing works. Do not claim those words. They're not true. They're not true. And the more you say them, the more you believe yourself, the more you believe them, the more stuck you get, the more the fear takes over, the more the habit sets in. Makes that big, deep groove in your brain that just says, I'm that and only that. And that is so far from the truth. Okay, so again, it could be that you are afraid of something. What is that something for you? Share in the comments right now. Do you have a fear of something in your life? Are you afraid? And it doesn't have to be even any of the ones I listed. Those are just kind of top categories that I thought maybe would pertain to more people. But do you have that? Do you have a fear of disappointment, whether that's for yourself or for somebody else? Do you have a fear of the unknown, and where does it come up in your life? Do you have a fear of self-betrayal? Like you're afraid to let yourself down. You're afraid to try because you know that you might fail, or you know that, the track record shows you that you don't follow through, or that it's hard, or that it's, stressful or exhausting, whatever it may be. I'd love for you to type that down, because, and you don't have to put it in the chat if you're uncomfortable doing that, but write it down in your journal, write about it, because that is getting deeper and more self-aware. And the more self-aware you are, the more you can expand and grow. If you have no idea where you're at, where you're stuck, what you're working on, what you want, where you've been, if you have no idea, you're just going to keep repeating it. When we wake up every single day for the next 365 days and our heart is beating and we're breathing, we are alive, okay? We are alive, we are living, but that doesn't mean that we are aligned and that we are focused and that we are fully energized. So the more self-aware you become, the more alive and aligned, for those of you in the collective, the more alive and aligned you can live. And the more self-aware you become, the more you can bust through limiting behaviors and habits and fears and all of that stuff. And that is what I want for everybody, to dance through life, decide, take aligned action, notice, create, and expand your energy. Energize yourself. That is what I want. That's the acronym. It's what I eat, sleep, breathe. That's all I ever think about for myself, for my children, for my family, for this family here, and for anybody that these messages reach. Ask yourself today and the rest of this week, do you have any fears? And if so, where are they hiding? And remember that fears become habits. They are not meant to be walls and things that you cannot bust through. They're meant to open the door, walk through it, like I said 2 weeks ago, and they are meant to be, kind of like dug up a little bit, uproot them, and get them out of the way, and then plant something else. Okay, show yourself that you take action even when it's scary. And remember, if you have kids watching you, this is even more important because they are watching and learning from you. Lead by example. And private message me if you have any takeaways from this. I'd love to hear it. And I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your Monday. Bye, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed today's topic, and I look forward to welcoming you into our free private community if you would like to be there as well.